Okay, it's official, it's done, it is over. The USGA and the R&A, in an effort to reduce distance across the game of golf, have just announced that they are going to be changing the way that golf balls are tested starting in 2028. And that means that in the not too distant future, all of us are going to be using distance reducing balls. And I am going to, in this video, explain what that means to professional golf. I'm going to explain what it means to you and your friends in your own golf game. And I'm going to explain everything you need to know about the pending distance reducing golf balls that are now on the way. So for those of you who may not be aware, the USGA, the United States Golf Association, and the R&A are the governing bodies of the game of golf all around the world. Every piece of golf equipment has to go through their offices and be tested to make sure it complies with the rules of golf, and that includes golf balls. Now, currently, golf balls are tested using a robot that swings a club and it hits each ball at 120 miles an hour. And then it's going to hit those golf balls on a launch angle of 10 degrees and a spin rate of about 2,500 RPMs. Well, the USGA and the R&A want to reduce distance across the game of golf. So they're going to change the way that those golf balls are tested. They are going to increase the swing speed of that robot up to 125 miles an hour. They're going to increase the launch angle by 1 degree up to about 11 degrees. And they're also going to decrease the spin rate down to about 2,200 RPM. However, they're not going to be changing the maximum allowable distance that those test shots can travel, which is 317 yards. So when you get a faster club head, which is going to create more ball speed on a higher launch angle with less spin, golf balls are going to go a lot farther, which means that most of the golf balls that are out there today, the Titleist Pro V1, the Bridgestone Tour B, the Callaway Chrome Soft, the TaylorMade TP5, the Srixon Z-Star XV, none of those golf balls are going to pass the new rule changes that are going to be going in forth, the new way that the testing is going to be done. So all those golf balls, starting on January 1st, 2028, they're all going to become non-conforming. In order for manufacturers to create golf balls that are going to stay within that maximum allowable distance, 317 yards, under those newer, faster conditions, they're going to have to make the balls probably less aerodynamically effective through the air. They're going to have to slow them down, probably make them just a touch spinnier, something. All these companies are going to have to start putting a lot of research and a lot of work into making a less efficient golf ball so that they can comply with the new standards. And that is how the USGA and the R&A are going to slow down the game's biggest hitters. So let's get to the really good stuff, the stuff that you want to know, which is how much of a distance loss are we really talking about? Well, I had an opportunity to talk with Thomas Pagel, who is the Chief Governance Officer for the USGA, and according to him, the fastest swinging players on the PGA Tour, the DP World Tour, the Korn Ferry Tour, they're going to probably be losing between 13 and 15 yards with their driver off the tee. So a player like Rory McIlroy, who led the PGA Tour in driving distance at about 326 yards per drive, he's now probably looking at somewhere around 311 yards were he using a distance reducing golf ball, one that would pass the USGA and the R&A's test. Most PGA Tour players do not swing like Rory or Cameron Champ or Cameron Young or Wyndham Clark. Typical PGA Tour pros are going to be losing between, say, 9 and 11 yards, according to the USGA. LPGA players, who again swing a little bit slower still, they are anticipated to lose between, say, 5 and 9 yards. And then recreational players like you and me, golfers who have a club head speed of probably, say, somewhere in the 90s or the high 80s. The anticipation by the USGA is that most recreational male golfers will probably lose about 5 yards or less off the tee when they switch to a distance reducing golf ball, one that's going to pass this new test. Most of the women of the world who are going to be swinging at a slower club head speed, getting less distance already, they're going to be losing a couple of yards at the most. So for slowest swinging golfers, this, according to the USGA, is really not going to make all that much of a difference. For most club players, most male club players, you're probably going to be losing 4 or 5 yards off the tee. And for the elite professional players, the fastest swingers are going to be affected the most. Important dates to remember: the rules don't really go into effect for elite golfers until 2028, but recreational golfers, people like you and me, we're going to be able to keep using golf balls that are tested under the slower conditions, the ones that we have right now, through 2030. So while manufacturers are going to start selling the slower ball, and really every new ball that's going to be added to the conforming ball list starting January 1, 2028 and forward will be of the distance reducing variety. That if you have golf balls in your bag, or if you get a whole bunch of golf balls for the holidays in 2027, you'll be able to keep using those golf balls. And the USGA said that you'll be able to use those in rounds when you're going to post your handicap. You'll be playing by the rules of golf. You'll be able to use up whatever you want until 2030. So you're gonna have 2 years where whatever you've got your hands on, you'll be able to use. So I think we can pretty much expect that every recreational golfer out there is gonna be snapping up every 2027 golf ball and earlier so that they'll be able to use it for those 2 periods or those 2 years in 2028 and 29. That absolutely, there's going to be a run on golf balls in 2027. But one of the most interesting things that Pagel shared with me is that even amongst the fastest swinging golfers, the effects of the reduced distance golf ball will pretty much go away and be indiscernible once you get to, say, 5-iron and shorter. So 5-iron, 6-iron, 7-iron wedges. The reduced distance golf ball, according to the USGA, really doesn't affect them at all, and there won't be any distance changes at all. For recreational golfers, we're really talking about kind of driver only, Pagel told me. He said that this is really going to be a change that is affecting, for the vast majority of golfers out there, shots off the tee almost exclusively. The other really interesting thing that came out of my conversations today and out of the release that the USGA has sent to me is that while the model local rule that was put forth back in March by the USGA and the R&A was seen as a potential benefit, a way to sort of target the fastest swinging golfers while leaving everybody else pretty much out of it, that was universally rebuffed by just about everybody out there. During the notice and comment period, which extended from March after the announcement of the model local rule was created, through the middle of August, there was a big open comment period where anyone and everybody could go ahead and tell the USGA exactly what their thoughts and ideas were with regard to a distance reducing golf ball for elite players only. And the resounding sentiment was that we do not want what we perceive to be is a bifurcated game. The idea of one set of rules to govern everybody was a massive thing for a lot of golfers. Manufacturers wanted that. The PGA of America wanted that. The PGA Tour wanted that. You remember the PGA of America and the PGA Tour came out against the model local rule. And many recreational golfers also voiced displeasure with the idea. They like the idea that one set of rules basically governs everybody, and we all play the game by one set of rules. Well, there were 3 possibilities that were going to come about because of this, and recently Martin Slumbers from the R&A basically laid this out. The 3 choices when it came to dealing with the distance problem were 1, doing nothing, and the USGA and the R&A have said all along, like, we're not going to do nothing. We feel this is a problem. We're going to address it. So option 1 is off the table. Option 2 was the model local rule to focus the distance reduction solely on the most elite players in the game, specifically these elite men that were going to be out there. But people didn't like that idea either. We wanted the one set of rules. So if they had to do something, and a model local rule, which was seen as bifurcation, was also not something people wanted, then what the USGA and the R&A were left with was exactly what they're doing now. They're going to slow the golf ball down for everybody, but try and do it in such a way that the biggest hitters are affected the most and recreational golfers are affected the least. So that is the breaking news. That is what is happening right now. Please let me know in the comment area below. Do you think the USGA and the R&A got this one right? Do you think that the idea of having one set of rules to govern everybody and therefore putting in a distance reducing golf ball for everybody is the way to go? Or should we have gone with the model local rule method? Should we have really focused the distance reduction on the game's most elite players? Did we need distance reduction at all? Let me know in the comment area below. I'm really fascinated because I've heard a big split on this one. My friends are really split on this one, so I'll be really curious to hear what you have to say. And if you found this video informative, if you got something out of this one, it would be awesome if you would consider subscribing to my channel, as well as hitting that bell button so you'll get notifications when I've got new videos coming out. There's some really, really interesting things that are gonna be dropping in the days and the weeks ahead. Trust me, in January, the videos are gonna be coming fast and furious because the releases for 2024 are on the way. Thanks a lot, and I'll look forward to seeing you again real soon.